Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and focusing in on really how to get beyond covert narcissistic abuse, and that is to avoid getting stuck in the past. I want to give a quick shout out to all of the great viewers here, especially those internationally and those of you who are longtime viewers watching consistently. I applaud you. Much love out to you for diving deep and rising above, transcending and transforming your life above and beyond the pains and difficulty of these complex relationship issues that can present with the narcissist, the borderline, or the psychopathic type individuals. So I'm pleased to have you here today, and I want to really dive in one of the main stifling or self-limiting beliefs, the behaviors or the mindset that tend to get people stuck, and that is the when healing with through covert narcissist abuse. And that is oftentimes because of the length of time spent with these individuals that people tend to get stuck in the past. They tend to replay the stories, they tend to replay the events, they tend to make it part of their identity to remain stuck, to be really subtly overwhelmed, to replay that story that, I am sabotaged, I am invalidated, I am ignored, I am not, worthy of being looked at. So a lot of people, they have a lot of social anxiety that surrounds us. They feel very uncomfortable being, in their energetic self out and about. They have trouble rising to their own heights because of this negative validation, from these individuals, because of the ignoring, because of the lack of affection, because of the lack of guidance, because of the lack of communication, for the lack of feeling like you're important. People oftentimes don't have a real good sense of themselves. They feel shy. They might have difficulty going out and being with people without having this, sneaky voice in their head that says, you're not good enough. What's wrong with you? No one will support you here. People won't like this. There's a lot of this negative tape, negative programming that tends to be set up from these past experiences with this covert narcissist. So it's very important, I think, to let that go. And even though it's so difficult, because a lot of people feel, well, this is an integral part of me, this relationship, this experience, and I can never let it go. It is always going to hinder me. It's always going to be present. It's always going to be painful. It's always going to hurt. And yes, it will always be with you. You did experience this. This is real. This is actually something that happened. And even though the most difficult thing, I would say, is that the covert narcissist does not own it. They don't own that we went through this. It's kind of like going on a vacation. Like, let's say you were to go to Hawaii and you were to see some magnificent waterfalls, some beautiful, incredible sugarcane fields, beautiful, most majestic views, the most beautiful swimming you've ever been through, the most incredible flowers. You had a beautiful lei made for you. You had the most beautiful sun bath. I mean, food, relaxation, birds. I mean, it was just this wonderful experience, and you were able to validate it together. And yes, oh my God, that was such a great experience. You would have had a commonality there. You would have a shared experience with this person, and you can, kind of look back and have, something to both resonate with. Well, I feel that, with the covert narcissist, there isn't that same memory or shared experience. So they looked at things so counter to what you did. So that experience, that relationship, that past is kind of like you can't really, you don't have that same reciprocity or inner communication between you and this other person. So it's distorted in your mind, it's distorted in their mind. So there is this kind of feeling of tension and trauma bond that keeps you stuck. In other words, because you were invalidated, you didn't have that same shared experience. This happened, why couldn't you have been there? Well, I didn't need to, you're this, you're that. And then, there's this conflict, there's this gap, there's this lack of emotional connectedness, lack of empathy, lack of feeling for each other, lack of sharing, and, lack of positive sharing. And oftentimes it's very difficult to put a drop of positive back into that reservoir or shared experience or relationship with this person. It's hard to get things back on a positive track because oftentimes they don't feel or believe that they have done anything wrong, that they have done nothing wrong in being aloof, ignoring you, sabotaging you. They don't own it, so you can't have that shared experience, that foundation. So you kind of feel like a crevice is missing in that foundation. And so that foundation needs to be within yourself. You need to have that experience and those inner reflections yourself, and you can get that validation of that experience with others who understand and get you for who you are and what you've been through and can validate that. And so when you have that validated, it's just kind of like, that's what we went through. And then you can begin to look at it with a lighter heart. You can begin to assimilate it more into your mind. It doesn't seem so foreign. It's not like a splinter that keeps hurting you and you have to kind of get it out. If you can process a lot of the past and realize that oftentimes there wasn't this very significant, important figure to be there for you in this full-on way, which a lot of covert narcissists aren't. They don't have the ability. They have the pathological self-importance heightened, coupled with a lack of empathy, lack of communication, etc., like we've discussed here. So oftentimes there's this lack of feeling of interconnection. Like the puzzle pieces fits a little bit, but it's really kind of not a good fit because of these two core issues. And so really realize that if this is keeping you stuck, this feeling of the past where you haven't been able to process it, because this person doesn't have the same shared experience, doesn't have the ownership, let them go. Realize that their experience is kind of like, it is what it is. And if you can then process it and then really kind of digest it, assimilate it, emotionally and psychologically, and really kind of learn from it, and validate that from your past, so that it's not kind of always plaguing you or running back and forth. I think that will help, because I feel a lot of people tend to feel stuck in the past hurts, the past memories, the past story, and feel like it's always going to plague them. So let's get plague out of the vocabulary. Let's get wisdom in the vocabulary. So these are my my past wisdoms, my past lessons that have made me all the wiser and all the stronger and all the sharper and all the more brilliant. And I've realized that this has expanded my sense of empathy and my knowledge of people, and furthermore, my humility and my humbleness, and to have gratitude that I've been able to learn these lessons. And I have gratitude for this person, because if you do hold a grudge, you're going to be staying stuck in the past, and it will forever, kind of taint your experiences, taint your emotions, and you won't feel very liberated. So if you can work on that, releasing the judges, release the criticism, release the grudges, the judgments, and really begin to process that and really let that go. So, and really find that if you do that, it'll stop tainting your life, and you'll be able to be more programmed and have more of a vision, really kind of, and allow yourself to feel the full-on joy, happiness, bliss that this person had apparently tried to hold you back from. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.